Hi there, Sam Sorbo here for the Accidental Homeschooler. We're going to do a quick debate update. So I shared with you guys a little while ago that I decided to basically almost on a whim start a speech and debate club here in South Florida. And it's just been absolutely incredible. I've actually started two clubs. One because I go to two different campuses of classical conversations. So we have one club that's up north and one club that's further south, and a Wednesday club and a Thursday club. And so today is we had our meeting at our Thursday club. They're both doing really well. The North Club has a little bit, it skews a little bit older, so 15, 14, 15, something like that. And the South Club skews just a little bit younger because we don't have the older classes available. So I've got a couple 15-year-olds, but it's skewing more towards the 12 years old. Okay, so, and maybe younger, actually. I'm not exactly sure of all of the ages of all the kids, but I actually got to witness two debates today, which was pretty incredible. One of them was in our class, our CC class, which is Challenge 1. And Challenge 1 is the first year that the kids start to do debate. And we had one student who was so very nervous, so very anxious. I know that she struggles with some anxiety issues and is very self-critical, very insecure, really struggles a lot. And because I was the substitute today. It was a long day. I was the substitute today. So I had the opportunity to talk to her a little bit about her very first debate and what was going to take place and all of that. And I will tell you that she cried, really sobbed, really refused to enter the classroom, really just, no, I can't do it. I'm crying. I can't, tissues and nose blowing and the whole thing. Now, this happened to me in debate club last week. A young girl got up to do an impromptu speech, started in, got her thesis, and then her, for three reasons. One, reason A, two, reason B, three. And then she walked over to me and crouched down onto the ground in shame, put her hands on my knees and started crying and said, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Now, mind you, I'm emotional. I can't help it. And so I almost start crying with her. And I started talking to her. I said, you need to go into the hall. You need to get a glass of water. Drink water. Water is calming. Drink a full glass of water. Marksmen who are competing have been known, this is a known thing for shooters. They will, right before a competition, they'll drink a full 8 ounces of water. They'll just chug a glass of water because they understand that it soothes the nerves and you're a better shot, okay? But it works across the board. So I said, go out in the hall, get a glass of water, take some deep breaths, and we'll try again. I have a very firm belief that you do everything you possibly can not to accept failure on behalf of your students. This is very important. I don't know why. It's not like I studied this stuff. I just know we shouldn't be accepting failure. We need to figure out where the win is. You just have to find a win so that it's not a failure, even though they're going to think that it's a failure because that's how kids berate themselves. That's just what they do. So she actually, the mom who helps me in that class, in that club meeting, came over and said, hey, let's go outside and talk about this. And she went out and did some magic. They went over the speech. Now, mind you, it's impromptu. You're not supposed to get more than, a minute to prepare. That's okay. We can bend the rules for these kids just to find out where we can find the win for them. The win. We need to get these kids winning, okay? And so they talked out in the hall, and we just went on with our club. And I had a couple more speakers go up and do their impromptus. The kids really like the impromptu because there's no prep. You don't have to do the research. You don't have to put that much effort into it, but you get to go to club and you get to give it a shot and try and see. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in other videos, but after like maybe the second or the third speaker after this young woman left in tears and shame and humiliation, okay, she was standing out in the hallway kind of lingering. I honestly, I didn't know what to do. I wasn't quite sure how to proceed. And I said, did you want to come back in? And she said, well, I'm ready. And I said, you're ready to speak? Hoping against hope. And she said, mm-hmm. And I said, all right, come on in. You're our next contestant on the. So she came in and she paused at a certain point early in the speech. She paused for a minute and you saw her start to crumble. And man, she powered through and she finished a speech. And went a minute and a half, which is hard. You try it. Okay. And she did it. And I'm so proud of her. And then, of course, I was the one in tears in front of everybody being humiliated because I can't help myself. This is such an important skill. We have young people who feel like they have a handle on the truth. And the moment that it's contested, that it's challenged, they'll back down. And we don't want that for them. And the young woman today in debate who was crumbling outside. And I went back into the classroom and we had some of the moms who had shown up because they want to see a debate. So they want to get familiar with it. So they'd shown up. We had them come in. So it was a pretty packed room. That is intimidating. And she was our first speaker. And so I allowed her to not have to introduce herself. But we all sat quietly and waited quietly. There was nobody out there like trying to help her, just, give her suggestion, nothing. We sat quietly and we waited. She walked up to the podium. Her notes were there. She looked down at her notes. She started to crumble. She turned away. She said, I can't do this. I said, no, you must do it. You must. We will wait. You as the parent, you as the main teacher, you as the authority, you draw the line and you hold them accountable. And she eventually turned back around. She came up and she gave every argument in the book, all of them very good. I'm crying. They won't be able to understand me. I'm too afraid. I'm going to make a fool of myself. Every single argument into the book. And they're all valid, except they're not, because none of them outweigh the necessity of following through and doing this thing, which is so scary and so hard. And she powered through her entire 1AC, 7.5 minutes. She powered through the entire thing. She almost lost her place. She stumbled over some words, not a lot. She stumbled once, I think. It almost derailed her. She bucked up, got through it. Towards the end, she started to crumble, I think because she realized that she was getting to the end. And she was like, oh my gosh. And she got all the way through. And it was amazing. It was amazing. It was an amazing win. And I'm so proud of her. And I'm proud of all the other students because they were all, the entire room was so polite and afforded her so much grace. And the other students got up and they debated, and it was a lively debate, and it was a great first debate for these young people who are 15, basically. And then we went to speech and debate club. And I have young debaters in speech and debate. and I'd forgotten the prompt that I'd given them. And I thought I was going to have to sit through another like real team policy debate. But the prompt that I had given them, and I was very, very happily surprised. The prompt that we decided to debate was that young children should be given caffeinated beverages. And we had these kids who went and did a ton of research, and they brought their research in and they had statistics. And did you know that if you're a caffeine drinker, you're 65% less likely to get Alzheimer's? Something like that. Crazy. Like I learned some things. And there was a moment in the debate, I have to say this, there was a moment in debate where the boy got up to cross-examine. Now, the thing with the kids is when they think that they've got to win, they can't hold back. They got to just get that jab in when they think that there's an opening, that they found an opening. And so he walks up and he says, in the cross-examination should be only questions, right? But he goes up and he says, you question my source for some of my statistics, and it's the same source that you used. And the whole room was like, ooh, burn. It was so great. And so I talked to him a little bit about that. Like what's a more strategic way to use that would be maybe to ask him what his source was. And then when you're giving your rebuttal, to say, now my opponent questioned my source, but my source was also, health.gov or whatever. And so and you pointed out in your rebuttal, and that's a huge win when you can do something like that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Speech and Debate Club, I encourage you to just start. I think I'm going to do a short series of videos on how I'm going about it. I'm not the expert. I just see a need, and I'm trying to fill that need, and to just pour in a little bit. And I'm sure that you can do that if you desire it. And I will tell you, you will be blessed beyond your wildest dreams, because these kids, they show up. They're the real deal. It's pretty awesome. And it beats everything. It's just fantastic. So be encouraged, please, and give it a shot. Even if it's just once, even if it's just the one time. All right, I'll do a couple videos on ideas for you, okay? Thanks so much for tuning in. Yeah, all the good stuff. Bye.